The 90s wasn't just a golden era for hip-hop, it was a battlefield. The streets were tense, the labels were warring, and every verse felt like it could start a riot. Rappers weren't just rhyming, they were aiming. One wrong bar could spark a coast-to-coast war, and these diss tracks, they didn't hold back. They were raw, brutal, and straight from the heart of gangster rap culture. These are the 10 craziest diss songs that came out of that fire. Each one a shot fired, a grudge unpacked, a name crossed out on wax. We're starting with Cool J's Jack the Ripper. He wasn't just wearing Kangals and licking lips for the ladies. James Todd Smith, better known as Cool J, was lacing gloves for lyrical combat. When Kool Moe Dee called him out, Cool J didn't duck. He strutted into the booth, chest out, chain swinging, and dropped Jack the Ripper, a track soaked in arrogance and wit. The beat pulsed like a villain's theme song, and Cool J delivered his verses with that "I built this house" confidence. This was the old school version of standing on the table and saying, "Say my name again," and in 90, the streets remembered who the real king of cool was. Number 9, The Bitchin' You, Common.
I see the bitch say when you don't speak your mind. The bitch said you look at me.
Imagine getting sliced with a butter knife, quiet, clean, and surgical. That was Common in 1996. Ice Cube and West Side Connection tried to come for the conscious kid from Chicago, but Common didn't yell. He painted his words with restraint and razor edges. The Bitchin' You was less a diss track and more a polite execution. He called out Cube for hypocrisy and made it clear, you can be peaceful and still pack a punch. And hip-hop heads, they nodded in approval. Respect earned, battle won. Number 8. 4, 3, 2, 1, Cool J featuring Method Man, Redman, DMX, Canibus, and Master P.
Yo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, blaze the hot. Transact sound like Kevin.
This wasn't supposed to be a war zone, it was a posse cut. But Canibus dared to touch the mic tattoo, metaphorically.
Yo, how many rhymes you got? I could go on for more millennia. The monsters got on the car.
And Cool J went full alpha. He rewrote his verse, turned the track into a trap, and fired the first warning shot in a feud that would birth 2 of the decade's hardest tracks. You could hear the tension between bars.
Every little boy wanna pick up the mic and try to run with the big boys and live up to the real hype.
This wasn't rap, it was chess, and Cool J had just moved his queen.
I make a rhyme for every syllable in your name. Watch your mouth, don't ever step out of line.
Number 7, Dre Day. Dr. Dre featuring Snoop Dogg.
Mr. Buster, where you at? Can't scrap a lick, so I know you got your gas.
Funky, petty, and dripping in West Coast swagger. Dre Day was the moment doctor. Dre and Snoop Dogg threw a pool party and invited Eazy-E just to drown him in punchlines.
If it ain't another hoe that I got to get with, gap teeth in your mouth so my gats got to fit.
Over G-Funk synths and a beat made for cruising lowriders, Dre mocked, Snoop barked, and the whole world watched. MTV played it on loop. Subtlety was out the window. This was Death Row saying, "We moved out and we're doing better without you." And it worked. The track blew up and Eazy's rep took a hit. But what looked like the end of the conversation was just the beginning of the rebuttal, because Eazy wasn't the type to laugh it off, and he wasn't about to go out as a punchline. So he stepped back into the booth, sharpened his pen, and turned the echo of Dre Day into a declaration of war. If Dre Day was a poolside roast, this was the moment the lights went out and the guests scattered. Eazy came swinging with real Muthaphuckkin G's, a grimy, street-certified retaliation that stripped the polish off Dre's persona. Gone were the jokes.
Damn, E, they tried to fade you on Dre Day, but Dre Day only meant Eazy's Day.
This was cold, calculated disrespect. He questioned Dre's roots, his wardrobe, his street credibility, and he did it without breaking a sweat. The video turned the mirror around. Every shot a reminder that you can leave the streets, but the streets don't forget. And years later, even Snoop had to admit it hit harder than they expected.
You know you don't want to give no nigga no credit when a nigga dissing you, nigga. And we was on them niggas' head. We had What Would You Do? We had Dre Day. We had all kind of shit where we was busting them upside the head. But when they dropped that motherfucker, we felt that one.
So while the crew went to lyrical war, the generals had already brokered peace. And yo, real quick, if you've watched up till this point, that probably means you're feeling the vibe. So go ahead and show some love. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and support the channel so we can keep digging into more stories like this. Alright, let's get back into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to battle!
From legendary comebacks to lyrical ambushes, the list only gets meaner from here. At number 5, second round KO by Canibus.
I'ma let the world know the truth. You don't want me to shine, you study my rhyme, then you laser vocals at the mind.
Picture a young lion storming the arena, eyes locked on the champ. That's how Canibus approached Cool J in 1998. With second round KO, he didn't just diss, he declared total war. The track opened with Mike Tyson's growl, and then Canibus tore through every line like he had something to prove. Fast, surgical, and disrespectful.
Now watch me rip the tap from your arm, kick you in the groin, stick you for your vanguard.
The fans were stunned. Some said he out-rapped a legend. Others said he poked the wrong beast, but no one denied the hunger. It was lyrical warfare and Canibus came swinging. Number 4. Who Shot Ya? The Notorious B.I.G.
Who shot ya? Separate the weak from the opsa. Leap hard to creep them Brooklyn streets.
Sometimes the scariest thing is the silence between words. Who Shot Ya wasn't a direct diss, but the timing, the tone, the chilling delivery, it felt like a shadow walking behind Tupac. Biggie said it wasn't about him, but fans weren't buying it. The tension was thick, the paranoia was real. And this track, it became a ghost that haunted the East Coast versus West Coast rivalry.
Neighbors called the cops, said they heard mad shots. Saw me in the drop, 3 1/4.
It wasn't aggressive, it was eerie, and that made it hit even harder. Number 3, Takeover, Jay-Z.
Takeover, the break's over, nigga. Got it.
Calculated, cool, surgical. Jay-Z wasn't here to shout. He brought facts, numbers, and a calm dismissiveness that cut deeper than anger ever could. Takeover dropped names, Mobb Deep, Prodigy, Nas, and then calmly tore their legacies apart. One bar at a time, one hot album every 10-year average. That line alone rang through every barbershop in the country. The blueprint became gospel. Jay wasn't looking for a fight. He was issuing pink slips. Number 2, No Vaseline, Ice Cube.
Goddamn, I'm glad y'all set it off. Used to be hard, now you're just.
This wasn't a diss track. This was a lyrical arson attack. After leaving NWA over money and respect, Ice Cube waited, then snapped. And when he did, he didn't leave one of them untouched. No Vaseline was raw, vulgar, unforgiving. Cube named names, aired contracts, called out hypocrisy, and buried the entire group in under 6 minutes.
With your manager, fella. Fucking MC Red, Dr. Dre, and yeah.
The streets couldn't believe the audacity. Even the group didn't respond. Why would they? You don't talk back to someone holding your obituary. Finally, at number 1 is Hit 'Em Up, Tupac featuring the Outlawz.
First off, fuck your bitch in the clique you claim. West side, when we ride, come equipped with game.
There's diss tracks and then there's Hit 'Em Up. The moment it dropped, hip-hop stopped breathing. Tupac didn't just diss Biggie. He assaulted his character, his crew, his marriage, his city, and even his record label. The first line alone changed the temperature of the genre. There was no beat riding here, Pac was foaming. He sounded hurt, betrayed, and absolutely ready for war. This wasn't about rhymes, it was about revenge. And with that energy, Pac created the most infamous, most brutal, and most unforgettable diss track of all time. Some of these beefs ended with silence, others with soul searching, but all of them left scars. In the 90s, a diss track wasn't just music, it was reputation warfare. Careers were built, legends were tested, and the streets never forgot.